The rotator cuff is a group of muscles and their tendons that act to stabilize the shoulder and allow for its range of motion.
Hey everyone, today we're going to be focusing on the rotator cuff with exercises and stretches for this area to keep your arms and shoulders nice and strong on the Pilates Springboard. So we're going to have our straps. Now I've got my shorter, heavier springs set to a level 6. Now, for you, that might vary a little bit. We basically want it to be, when we lift up our arm like this, we're straight at a 90-degree angle with our elbow into our body. We want this to be about the level of our elbow and hand right here. So if you're significantly taller than me, you might be up a level, you might be down a level. So we're going to start out here, going to step away from the springboard, and for all these exercises, we want to make sure that we keep our elbow tight to the body, not letting it float out, tight to the body, arm at this 90-degree angle with the wrist coming straight out from the elbow. We don't want to turn our wrists like so. We want to keep them set like this, and all the motion is coming from the elbow. We also want to focus on the shoulder, keeping it rolled down and back, keeping it stable. So this isn't rotating or moving, sending our elbow out to the side. It stays straight, controlled, and forward, and the motion is coming right here through all of the exercises that we're going to do today. All right, so we're going to be starting with our right shoulder facing our springboard, and we're going to be working our right arm. Inside arm now, we're getting into the internal rotation of the rotator cuff. So I'm going to take my elbow, glue it in here. The spring is kind of pulling my arm back, and I'm going to rotate across my body, keeping my elbow nice and tight, and opening back out. So I'm going to roll those shoulders down and back. I'm going to make sure that this shoulder stays stable and steady, and perhaps placing a hand there may be helpful. 3, we're going to go for 10 repetitions. 4, 5, exhale as you pull across as you're working and exerting, and inhale, release. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, we're going to switch hands to the outside, and we're going to go into that external rotation of the rotator cuff. Rather than coming across the body, we're going to be pulling out and away from the body. So I'm going to step in closer to my springboard. I need less resistance here. So the elbow is tightened, shoulder is stable and steady, and again, my wrist is coming straight out from the elbow, and I'm simply going to rotate out and return in. You feel that getting warm right away. Exhale as you open, inhale, return. Five more right here for 5, 4, 3, 2, one more. Good. Now we're going to step in closer to the springboard and get in some abduction. So I'm going to bring the spring. It's coming across my body, and the palm of my hand is facing in. I'm going to come in nice and close to the springboard, and I'm simply going to lift the arm up and come right back down. Now I'm not pulling that spring above my shoulder. I'm staying at shoulder level or slightly lower with the wrist. Good. Exhale as we lift out and away, and inhale, return. Try not to lock out the elbow. Little micro bends. 2 more. And 1. Good, bring that in. Now what we did one side, we must do to the other. So we're going to turn around here. Our left arm, the outside arm is just working. Now it's our inside arm, and that's what we're going to start with. So again, I'm going to step out right here. And if the heavier springs feel like too much, maybe go to your longer leg springs or adjust your distance from the springboard. So I'm going to be further out from the springboard. I have a trifold mat, and I'm towards the end of my second square. I'm going to glue that elbow in. I'm going to think about keeping this shoulder steady, and I'm going to exhale as I pull across the body and open back out. 2, 3. Really pay attention to those wrists. Make sure that as you're pulling across, they're not doing this, curling in. Okay, keep it straight out. Don't break through the wrist. Two more right here. Good. Moving now to the outside arm. Stepping in for less resistance here. So the elbows tight to the body, shoulder facing forward, stable and steady, and it's not moving. I'm rotating just right here out. Keep that elbow in tight. I'm doing 10 repetitions of each. It can be anywhere from 8 to 10. If that feels like too much, cut it down to 5. All right, now I'm going to step nice and close to the springboard. Now I've got my palm facing towards the board, and I'm going to lift up into that abduction right here. Remembering to exhale on the exertion, which is the lift, and inhale as you return with control. And one more. Good. Roll those shoulders down and back. Reverse, come up the other way. Now I'm going to turn and face towards my springboard, grabbing onto both straps, elbows tight to the body, and I want to have a little bit of pull from the springs. I'm going to just rotate both arms to the outside from here, thinking about keeping my shoulders still and facing forward and elbows tight to the body. Now with this exercise, you can adjust pretty easily. Step out for more resistance. Step in for less resistance, more range and mobility. Good. All of those exercises, we're thinking about keeping the chest nice and open. We don't want the shoulders to be scooping forward and collapsing through the chest. They'll roll down and back, and it's all about this open motion. Now, of course, you can take these exercises without any weight at all. So if you're recovering from an injury there and trying to get that range of motion back, you could try using a small baby weight or no weight at all, working and opening here with your palms facing up, or your palms facing in, working on getting that range of mobility back and opening and stretching. And then of course we use the springboard to weight up and keep that area strong to prevent injury to the rotator cuff. Really important to work these areas in a smart way that's going to prevent you from injuring yourself. All right, let's next go into a couple of stretches using our board here for support. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my rollback bar, so I've got some places on my board to rest. I'm going to place myself here. You can also be lying down flat on the mat for this exercise. Right here, I'm going to take my arms straight up. My palms are facing forward. And right here, I'm going to think about lifting my fingers towards the sky. Now, I'm feeling my neutral spine where my shoulder blades and where the back of my pelvis is meeting into the board. I'm not going to move that or adjust that. I'm simply going to feel like someone grabs onto my fingertips and stretches upwards. So I'm going to lift up and out, reach, little holds, and return. Reach up, little holds, and return. Good. Feel that growing, pulling up and out through the shoulder. and return. You can feel stretch through your core here as well. And return. Again, let's take 3 more. Exhale, reach and pull. Inhale, release, relax, and return. Feel your shoulder blades slide up. And release back down. And 1 more. And return. I'm going to shift over to the side so that my hand or my elbow can reach into the springboard without hitting any of my hardware. So right here, I'm going to put my elbow in. Now I'm keeping that 90-degree bend. And from here, I'm going to think about pushing my body forward through that elbow. I'm not going to move my spine or anything else like that. And I'm going to press my elbow in, push out, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. I'm going to take 3 repetitions on each side of these exercises. You can certainly do 5 to 8, 8 to 10. Press that elbow in. Think about pushing your body out with it. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. 1 more. Press out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Good, nice active stretch there. Now I'm going to turn around, same working arm towards my springboard. I'm going to square my hips, square my shoulders to my board. Again, my wrist is coming straight out, 90-degree angle from my elbow. I'm going to place my fist into the springboard, nice and comfortable here. And I'm going to think about pushing my body back and away. Now, I'm really not going to send myself back and away, but through the fist. Same thing, but pushing out from the fist. So I'm going to press into the board. Push, press 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Again, press 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Good. Now I'm going to turn around, do the same thing on the other side. And again, I'm just going to take 3 of each. So, with my fist coming out, my thumb is up towards the ceiling. And I'm going to press as if I'm pushing my body away with that elbow. Push in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Good. You should feel those muscles working here. Feeling a little tired afterwards. Press. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. And 1 more. Press. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Good. Turning around. Same thing now, relatively close to the springboard, so without pushing at all, I'm just standing here and touching easily. My wrist is coming straight out from my elbow. Right here, I'm going to press. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Again, press. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Preventing rotator cuff injuries with exercises to strengthen the area and being careful about placement of the body while you're moving and doing various exercises is really important because recovery can be challenging and difficult from these injuries. It's much better to prevent that injury than to recover from it. However, if you are recovering from an injury, make sure that you are consulting with your physician for the best approaches, stretches, and exercises that you should be doing. So if you're in that place where you're recovering, then using weight from the springboard may be too much for you. This is to strengthen and prevent injury and focus on that area and come back if you've had a little injury to the rotator cuff, but you're healed and you're ready to do exercises again. And another note on rotator cuff injuries is to think about your sleeping position and addressing that. So let's say that my left rotator cuff has some form of injury and I frequently sleep on my left side. An important thing that you can do for your rotator cuff is to adjust positioning, and rather than placing the weight of your body onto that injured arm, switch over and try to sleep on the opposite shoulder. Or if you're laying on your back, try elevating the injured arm with some pillows, keeping it up, and then those pillows there will set as a reminder for you. So if you are absent-mindedly rolling out of habit onto your left side, that's the injured side, you're going to feel those pillows there and it'll kind of adjust you a little bit. So if you frequently sleep on your back, keeping that propped up and allowing yourself to roll to the uninjured side and then to the back with your arm propped up can really make a difference. Some things that we do during the night and putting pressure on there can actually slow down your progress of recovery. Consult with your physician if you are suffering from an injury, get it checked out, make sure that you know exactly what's going on with your rotator cuff and seek that physical therapy rehabilitation that you need for that area. If you're wanting to strengthen the rotator cuff and prevent injury, come to here and check out if these exercises on your springboard with your physician, your physical therapist, will be appropriate for you with your given injury. How's that for a disclaimer? Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you guys next time on the springboard.
Thanks so much for joining me in the studio today, and be sure to check out my channel for more Springboard Pilates, Mat Pilates, Barre, and much more. If you're interested in training with me on the Springboard, you can check out my Patreon account. All of the information that you need is in the write-up below. In my Springboard Pilates tier, we have weekly Springboard classes and access to all the previous classes. There's so much content and so many different ways to work on the Springboard. Here are some other videos you might like. Here's an example Springboard Pilates class for you to check out, and also a Mat Pilates flow for the spine. Keep moving and stay healthy, my friends. I will see you guys next time right here in the Bennie Barre Pilates studio.